What's going on, guys? It is the SMT. Welcome to the podcast. The date is Friday. I know it's Friday. August 16th, I believe. Hopefully, that's the correct date. Back to school for me, back at work. So, pretty busy. Had a lot to do this week. A lot going on in wireless for sure. I'm really glad that you guys were able to make it tonight. Should have a good show for you guys. We'll talk the major events of what happened this week. We'll kind of recap some of the videos that we uploaded, and should be a good show. Excited to get started here. We'll just kind of wait for everybody to pile in. Let's go ahead. As you are coming in, please, by all means, do say hello and definitely like the video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up. So, hope you guys had a good week. Like I said, it was eventful in the wireless space for sure. Never a dull moment in the T-Mobile and Sprint merger from the legal side, and some interesting things going on. So let me just catch up in the live chat with you guys, and we'll say our hellos and we'll get things going. All right, so we have Rafi in the house. He'll be taking care of moderating duty tonight, along with Pete B. And Technoid is here. Thank you guys for being here. Glad you can make it. Frankie, I think, is here. Greg A is here as well. Thank you guys for stopping by. Let's see who else is here. Jamil is here also moderating. Good. All my moderators are here tonight. That's awesome. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Troy Hicks is in the house. Seabass is here. Matt Dubb in the house. Lawrence is here. Tom is here. I don't know if I had Troy in there already. Martin is also here. Thanks for stopping by. K Deuce is here. Joseph in the house. Jeremy is here as well. Mikey Tech Review in full effect. Glad you guys could make it as well. Mr. OZ69 is here. Mad Bird. There's another moderator. Glad you could stop by, old friend. What's up, Wang Hua Liang? Hopefully I said that right. Glad you could stop by. Heath is here. DJ Gaten Tech here. Gary Davis here. Walter Scott is also present. Big Bry is here. Francis in the house. As you guys are coming in, by all means, do say hello and give this video a thumb up. Not thumbs down, thumb up. Appreciate that as you guys are coming in. Hopefully the sound is good. Hopefully the video is good as well. You guys let me know on the live chat how I'm doing there. I don't want to have any issues on that side. Thank you in advance for that. Lavendi is here. Daniel is also here. Oscar, thanks for stopping by. Paul, glad you could make it. Thank you for being here. Braveheart is also here. All right, sound and audio is good. Video is good. Thank you. Sean is here. All right, great. Video and audio is on point. Excellent. Got the Note 10 Plus on August 21st from Paul. And it's a nice phone. You're going to have to give me some feedback on that. Let me know if you think it was worth the purchase. If you're getting the Plus, it looks like you'll be spending about $1,100. Not sure if you splurged for any type of different RAM or storage arrangement. But yeah, that's a nice phone, man. I'm sure you're going to love it. Ryan is here. Oh, and also, if you could tell me which provider you're going to get that Note 10 Plus on. If you're buying it from a carrier, if you're buying it unlocked from them, I guess directly from Samsung. Jamal is here. Glad you could make it, friend. Jermaine is also here. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. I think we're ready to get started. What's up, Jamil? Good to have you on, buddy. All right, so here we go. This week, in terms of what happened in wireless, obviously, there is some merger happenings. Honestly, I think what's going on right now at this stage in the merger, the deal is as good as done. We've got official documentation circulating the FCC. It's going to make its rounds to all five commissioners. We have Ajit Pai, who is the chair. He's pro merger. He's been pro merger from day one. He's going to sign on with the merger. We have Brendan Carr. He is also pro merger. He is of Republican uh, political affiliations. He rolls very closely with what Ajit Pai does. So I don't expect him to go any other way but pro merger. So he'll sign on as well. There's a man by the name of Michael O'Reilly, who is also of Republican representation and affiliation. He's also going to sign for the merger. There are five commissioners. You need 3 out of 5. There's your 3. The other 2 representatives, the names, I want to say it's Jeffrey Starks and Jessica Rosenworcel. They're the other 2 commissioners to kind of round things out. They're probably going to vote against the merger. So they'll sign, otherwise. Jamil, thank you for the super chat, friend. Much appreciated. Get things going there. Thank you so much for the donation. So there are your 5 FCC commissioners. The big one is Ajit Pai, who is the chair. We've got 3 out of 5 that are going to be pro merger, and they're going to sign on. That document will make its rounds. They'll make their signatures and their approval, and that's pretty much it. Currently, where we're at right now is we're at a point where legally the DOJ has cleared and approved the merger. They've created the concessions. They've done so in that way because they know there's going to be resistance from the states and their attorneys general. So they built the concessions to address those issues. So when it gets to court, it holds up. So if in the courts we see a situation where the attorneys generals are going to, say antitrust or anti-competitive, they're concerned about consumers, they want more than 3 carriers, they want 4. They've addressed everything in the concessions of the merger. I know I'm balls, like seriously, how I remember that I know the major names. At least I know who's important in the decisions. Like I know the 5, right? And then you've got the DOJ, you've got Macon Del Rahim, like he's the big one there. So the DOJ has cleared it and approved it. Everything's built and ready for court. The FCC is just, it's going to be a signed on situation. That's it. I hope you guys understand that legally. Once the DOJ, once the FCC clears it and it's approved, that's it. I don't care what those states want. They can suit a block and that's fine. It goes to court. A judge, presides over the case. But legally, T-Mobile and Sprint and Dish can proceed with their business operations. But here's the thing. I think T-Mobile knows that things can get messy, so they volunteered. They said, okay, well, we're just going to wait. We'll let the courts kind of finish up. We'll wrap up litigation, and then we'll go ahead and get the merger, processing. So as you guys are coming in, by all means, do say hello and like the video. Just getting going here a few minutes ago. So thank you guys for being here. What's going on, Daniel? Glad you can make it. Greg A says we'll still have 4 carriers. Obviously, it's one of the things that the DOJ wanted to address, as well as the FCC. The FCC had no problem getting on and making sure Dish was in there. In fact, I think the DOJ preferred Dish to be the company. I think T-Mobile preferred to be the company. They kind of picked them. And then I also think, in a way, the FCC was happy that it was Dish because Dish has a lot of mid-band spectrum that they wanted to see released and in use. So that's the situation we're in. Once the FCC is on, this merger is good to go. Companies can proceed in their business. What's going on, Ryan? Glad you can make it. But I think it's nice that T-Mobile said publicly, and they've held true to it, we're going to wait for the litigation to wrap up, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed with the processing of the merger. But like I said, once the FCC is on, that's it. They're good to go. So we've got that going on right now. We've got a December 9th start date for the merger, court proceedings. I don't like the long time. Obviously, that's a problem. The states wanted an extension. I'm always of of the school of thought that when states are looking to get added time, they're looking to get support on their side. So they're looking to get more states on board. So if that means, like how Texas joined last week, we have, I don't know who is the most recent state, Oregon, I think, puts us at about 16. So in that case, they'll be looking to add some states. In one of my videos, I asked you guys for your opinions. How many states you think will eventually end up being on the side of the merger block? So I don't know. Maybe it ends up at 20 states. Maybe it ends up at 25. I doubt it gets up to 25. I really think it's going to fall somewhere closer to 20. Some of the issues are that states actually have to spend money to join the block against the merger. I think there's going to be a situation where some of the states back away, kind of sort of like a publicity stunt. So in that case, I don't know how many states are actually going to end up as part of the merger lawsuit to block. So that being said, we're still waiting on some things to happen. Some chips have to fall. We're only in August, guys. We've got just a tad under 4 months before the trial hearings in December, second week of December. So we're kind of waiting. Thomas, thank you. Thank you for being here. Wong says they have to be a fourth carrier because there are a lot of third-party cell service providers that are offering low-income, low-cost internet service. The thing is like the MVNO deals. I mean, there's concessions in place to support them. So T-Mobile's going to be looking to honor a lot of those deals, adding more deals. They want to sell, right? They want people on their network. They're going to work really hard to make sure that the network can handle the capacity. They're going to get things going. Hadaika, glad you could be here. Thank you for stopping by. Discord gang in the house. Big contributor on that side. Lavendi says, what are the scenarios that the states win? So the way I see it, let's say that this, things get going in December. I mean, I don't know how long it could be, but I feel like things wrapping up by the end of the year, so like maybe just a few weeks. I don't want to see it drag on. There are Sprint employees that are very concerned about their futures in employment. They'd like to get on with their lives. What's going to happen to my job? Where am I going to be relocated to? Do I need to get into a new business? There are people in booth stores right now, dealers that are thinking, how am I going to transition? When does Dish come into place? What are my deals going to look like? What am I doing with my employees? What about my district managers? Where do they go? Who do they work for? Right? So really the merger being dragged on like this is really a pain, first of all, for T-Mobile and Sprint. But you also have to think about the people that work at these stores, the people that might be transferred, the people that might lose their jobs, people that are looking for new employment opportunities with the new T-Mobile transferring. There's a lot there. What's going to happen to some of the rental properties, and leased locations? All that has to happen. It's going to take some time. Lisa, glad you could stop by. Good to have you on. I'm just not a fan of all the time. Like this review process, this is why I'm frustrated. Like it or love it or hate the merger, it doesn't matter. This process of the merger has been going on since April of 18. We're now in August of 19. I was really hoping that this all was going to get done within a calendar year. We're already at 15, 16, 17 months. By the time we get to December, we're looking at 18 months. So it's been dragging on. And honestly, you got people in limbo. You've got businesses in limbo. Technoid, do you remember who I am? Come on, Michael. Of course I do, man. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know. I feel frustrated in that we need closure to the situation. We need time to now get to the point where dragging it on is only making things worse. And I mean, things need to get done. And the only group of people that is dragging this on is the states and their lawsuit, which, again, like I said, maybe it had to wait until the DOJ cleared it or whatever. But I mean, just the extension, I just don't think it was necessary. I think it's just becoming played out. It's frustrating. Greg A says T-Mobile roaming on Sprint roaming agreement will happen. Don't they have reciprocal roaming agreements now? What's up, Jose? Glad you could be here. Alan Dubb in the house. Thank you guys for stopping by. Um, Technoid, obviously, look, there are people saying that the merger is at 50-50 right now. I disagree with that 100%. I don't understand how they come to that calculation, honestly. The two most important regulatory bodies involved in the US's business transactions like this with telecoms are signed on, and they've gone through legal steps to produce concessions that consumers can live with and the companies can live with. There's a lot of people and companies benefiting from this merger. You can make the argument it's antitrust, fine, but you can't deny that there are some concessions built in place to deal with it. Whether you don't like the concessions or not is a different story. I'm just saying they've addressed it. So I, I don't know. I feel like the states are doing one thing, but they're ignoring some of the facts in their argument. One of the things that I do appreciate from the state's opposition is they've said repeatedly that they want more transparency on the internal agreements. They want to see more. Well, fine. If that's what they want to see out of these court proceedings, I'm with that. I'd love to know more about the deal that Dish is getting. Honestly, that's kind of where I am because this deal, a big piece of it is creating a new fourth carrier to replace Sprint as Sprint merges with T-Mobile to become the big three, right? So we've got Verizon, AT&T, the new T-Mobile, and then we've got Dish. In order for Dish to have a chance to grow, to be a legitimate competitor, they're going to need a really good deal for those first 7 years so they can be profitable and have a good, solid network. I don't know how that deal is completely structured. We know a handful of details. I'd love to know more. If that's what the states wanted to know, I'm good with that. But if they're just blocking to block, or if they're just blocking to muddy the waters and slow things down, then it's just a political ploy at that point. It's not really operating in the best interest of the consumers. And Ball says, I like less options. I don't. I hope you're joking. We all like more options, but we need better options because while T-Mobile's uncarrier initiative is fantastic and T-Mobile's pricing is very competitive, T-Mobile's network has been playing catch up for a long time. It's much improved. It's a lot better than it has been in years past. But if you look at the market share and then you look at the national coverage maps between T-Mobile and AT&T and Verizon, T-Mobile's still behind in that way. This merger helps close that gap, and most importantly, the innovation to put pressure on Verizon and AT&T to have to really deploy 5G in a more accelerated fashion, more completely and thorough. And just generally, they're going to have to innovate in a more competitive way. So, and Greg A says they're wasting tax dollars. Obviously, you're going to have to pay lawyers to work, right? Sorting out papers, creating arguments, showing up to court. I mean, these people collect big dollars. I just hope it doesn't drag on. So fine, we got a December 9th date, hoping to get it all done, wrapped up by the end of the year. So that's where we're at right now. There are currently internal discussions, although I believe that the sides are not very close. You've got the states and the attorneys general. They've got their agenda, and then you've got Deutsche Telekom and it's the parent company of T-Mobile, and then you've got SoftBank, parent company of Sprint. They're trying to work a deal out. I'm sure that they would love to reach a settlement to avoid even having to go to court and waste more time. Now, Hadika says, I just want to see cheaper phone plans. I don't necessarily need a cheaper phone plan. I think my phone plans are competitive. They could stay the same. Even if my phone plans went up slightly, I want more innovative features. I want more hotspot. I like the idea of that. I want faster, more reliable connectivity. I want 5G. All right. I want to see speeds double, triple. I want to see latency reduce. I want to see my phone become a portal for AR and VR. I want to see my phone become more capable of gaming. I want to see that stuff change. I'm more on the innovative side. I think our pricing on our phone plans are fine. Do you guys think pricing is expensive right now for your phone plans? I mean, something tells me that the average person pays between $50 and $60 for unlimited data. Whether you're on a family plan and you've got 5 or 6 lines, or if you're on an individual line and you're paying 40, 50, 60, 70. Some people might be paying closer to 80 for unlimited because they're just one line. To me, I think phone plans are not too expensive. Maybe they're expensive if you're on one line postpaid Verizon or one line postpaid AT&T or even one line postpaid T-Mobile. You're at 75 or 80 bucks. Sprint, same thing. I think they're around 70 bucks, 65. I mean, it's expensive in that way, but if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 lines, you're getting a pretty good deal. You're paying like 40 or 45 or 50 a line. All right, so here's what you guys are paying in the live chat. I see 7 lines for 200 bucks. Army of the Lord Minister Kenneth Espinosa pays 184 for a line? What kind of line is that? M Balls has 8 lines for 160. That's really good pricing. See, Brad B, I think pricing is better now as well than I mean, I remember when a line of just calling was more expensive. Tom says 40 to 50 for one line out the door is good. I think it's an excellent price. Considering what you're getting, like performance of the LTE now is really good. Greg A's on Visible, he's paying 40. Hadeka is the pronunciation. Get it right, Craig. I see some people are paying a little bit less, a little bit more, 70, 80 for 2 lines. I mean, those are good prices. If you're getting new features, better performance, and your bill went up 5%, even 10%, I don't think that's bad. I think that's a good trade off. 50 for 3 lines. Who's getting that? It's really, really good. Or 50 a line on 3 lines. Wow. So I'm okay with what I'm paying. I mean, I'm paying like 240 or something, 220 for 6 lines. What does that work out to? About 40 bucks? I'm okay with that. 50 a line. And that's fair, you know? if services got faster, if services got more reliable, if services got better, if it went up $5 or $10 a line, maybe $10 a line is a little much. But if my bill went up a little bit, but the services got noticeably better, I'm fine with that. It's not a big deal. I'm just saying, like, pricing going up eventually in the long run, I think is inevitable, right? We've got inflation, we've got market pricing adjustments, you've got investment in the networks, we've got new network technology coming. You bust. What's going on? Glad you could be here. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Yeah, it got me a soda. How to get that caffeine kick. Anyways, so that's where we're at right now. Um, in terms of the uploads this week, let's take a look at some of the videos I dropped. So most recently, T-Mobile and Sprint merger internal discussion details. So they're looking to strike a deal, possibly. Does look like the sides are very, very different in terms of where they're at. I think the thought process is very different. I don't expect them to be close right now, with discussions just kind of starting. Uh, I think it's something to address in the future. Maybe come back to that story and kind of follow that closely. Another one, T-Mobile and Sprint want a settlement with the states. I really do feel strongly in that, maybe not. Maybe the states are kind of gung ho about, following through with their lawsuit. Verizon, this is an interesting story. Verizon is suing the city of Rochester for the city trying to charge them too much for installing 5G hardware. So obviously, the next generation of networks is going to require a lot of upgrading to the network, new sites, additions, pre-existing sites, hardware installations, fiber installs. A lot of that stuff is going on. Verizon feels like they're being charged too much by the city of Rochester to upgrade 5G. Um, Honestly, I think the way that's going to work out is I think Verizon actually has a leg to stand on based on the language in the new rules from the FCC about network technology being rolled out and deployed in cities. So I don't know. The city of Rochester says that other carriers are not complaining, other carriers are paying the fees, no problem. Verizon's just being unwilling to pay and being difficult. So, Rafi, how's that AT&T service? I know you've had it for a couple weeks now. Uh, and Rafi, I forget what area you're in, which market. I got people in the live chat. Verizon sucks. That's funny. Honestly, what I think is going to happen with things like what we're seeing with those types of like situations, like with Rochester. So the city of Rochester is saying, here's what we're going to be charging you, pay the fee. You can install your 5G nodes, you can build in your hardware, you can put your fiber. They're charging a certain fee. If the carriers are unwilling to pay, then there's going to be some litigation. The problem is the carriers are trying to roll this out quickly, get rid of the red tape. That's one problem. They want to be able to do it speedy, very quickly and rapidly, and they don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. So Verizon's going to be kind of the guinea pig to this. Verizon's suing the city of Rochester, and I think Verizon actually has a leg to stand on. As much as I hate to admit it, and I don't want to take Verizon's side, I just look at the language of the law. So they actually, if things work out for them, and we all know where the FCC stands with its carriers, Verizon's probably going to win that lawsuit eventually, and they'll be paying a lot less than what the city of Rochester wants them to pay. Although I firmly believe that Verizon should pay whatever the city of Rochester wants them to, especially if it's within a fair competitive range. whatever T-Mobile's paying in Rochester, whatever AT&T is, whatever Sprint is, Verizon should be paying the same. No difference, right? All carriers should be paying the same fees for installing the same types and amounts of equipment. If Verizon is just being difficult, well then screw them, right? I think the city of Rochester should countersue. I just thought that was an interesting story. Verizon's been in the news lately for throttling, not throttling hotspots, overcharging hotspots for roaming to that poor library in Tully County, where it's a county that is underserved and doesn't have internet options, and the library gives out hotspots for people to use for internet connectivity. Well, if the internet options in the area were better, they wouldn't need Verizon as hotspots for internet, but where were the consumer protections in that story? So, there were a lot of people in the comment section saying it's the guy's fault. He went to Canada, forgot he had it in his car. Where were the consumer protections? Where was Verizon to say, look, if you roam, here's how much you'll be paying? Or here's a shut off. If you don't want roaming, we'll turn it off. It's kind of how I was looking at it, kind of frustrating. To give you guys an example, my dad has a business. I work at that business. All right. So when we have our customers in the store and they want to purchase stuff, if the price of something increases, we tell them. We don't just, willy nilly, they come up to the register and go through a price shock. We post a sign, we explain to them how much it's going to be, how much it went up. And when you do that, they trust in you as a store owner or a business operator. Hey, I know this business is fair. They're not trying to, play me and steal money. It's a situation they can explain to me. When Verizon doesn't offer customer protections and they allow them to go through these problems, people don't trust them. And they've got a long history of this. And actually, if you think about it, if Sneed Mobile Tech didn't cover the story, if Ars Technica, if The Verge didn't cover that story, would they have even reversed the fees? I don't think they would have. They would have charged that poor library $900 for that guy going to Canada for 3 hours, a hotspot sitting in his car connected to a tablet, just passively connecting to the network. Right? He's not even using the thing. It just kind of happened. And they hit him with the charges. And the fee was like $2.05 a megabyte, which is they used came out to like $900. And now that library, which has budgeted a certain amount of money for those internet hotspots, they've used 55% of that year's budget for those hotspots. It's a pain. So that was an awful news story. So that's been going on. Let's see what's going on in the live chat. You guys seem to be pretty busy in there discussing some topics. Alan says Sprint is better than AT&T in Chicago. Is that real? Chicago seems to be more of like a Verizon town. They have really, really good coverage. Verizon credited them $880. Yeah, I mean, what's up, Gary? Glad you can make it. What I'm saying, Pete, is would Verizon have credited them if the publicity wasn't there on the story? I don't know. Let's see what else is going on in the live chat. Like I said, you guys are pretty busy in there. See, a lot of people are trying that Visible service. For anybody that's using Visible right now, if you guys could report back, I've got my experience. Things have been decent. They were really, really good in July. August has been a little bit more, should I say, network managed. I don't want to say it's been a lot slower, but it has been a little bit slower. My speeds aren't as fast as they used to be. I was seeing 20, 30, 40, 50 megabits per second very regularly on Visible in July. Now it's kind of hanging around that 15 to 20. So I don't know if it's a situation where the network is legit congested or if they're just, managing it more and slowing people down more, possibly. I don't know. The video playback has been a little spotty lately. Been getting a little bit of buffer. Playback has been a little bit more disrupted. I may actually have to re-review Visible. I might wait a couple more weeks and then possibly do a long-term review on that. Maybe that's what it is, Alan. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just the fact that a lot more customers are getting on the network. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to monitor it. Obviously, I'm going to keep the service long term. I'll definitely use it this month to wrap it up. Then I'll probably use it one more month, and then we'll see where it lands. Then I'll kind of do another review. LNW, I'm in the LNW. I'm in the Cleveland area. It's a really good area for Verizon coverage. My speeds generally are very, very good. And see that's the thing, Alan. If you live or spend time in markets where Verizon's coverage and speeds are good, Visible works great. Um, the problem is when you think about markets that have a lot of users on a certain network, you have to consider that, right? So if I'm in a congested Verizon area, I'm not trying Visible. No way. You're going to be at the bottom of the totem pole, right? When it comes to deprioritization, you're the first one getting slowed. So in a situation where Verizon has a lot of users in a market, you're trying AT&T, you're trying T-Mobile, you're trying Sprint. I would say, probably try T-Mobile in that case, because traditionally where Verizon speeds are slow due to congestion, T-Mobile seems to do well. So you may want to consider something like that. If Visible didn't work out for you, maybe Metro PCS or Metro by T-Mobile, maybe Sprint. LNW, that's so true, man. Concerts are a nightmare for cell service. If you're in an arena, you've got 15, 20,000 people, or even if you're at a stadium outdoors, right? 50, 60,000 people, 70,000. You're going to have all these people on the same tower, because of proximity. It's a nightmare, man. Trying to get something uploaded on Snapchat or, Facebook Living or something like that. It's a losing proposition. Ubus says, I live in Iowa, still with Sprint, but it's Verizon town. Yeah, Verizon's got that rural coverage, man. They really do. I mean, I've heard from so many different people. I used to have AT&T or I used to have T-Mobile and then I switched to Verizon because I started traveling. And I get that. It's not that you wanted Verizon, obviously, but you had to go with who was giving you the LTE availability and the coverage. Kind of sucks. Especially if you like the company that you're with. They offer you fair pricing, good service, but then your needs change because your market kind of changes. And then you bust. Yeah, Verizon's not cheap. Postpaid, they're quite expensive, especially for a single line. Ronald, what's going on? Glad you could be here. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, I mean, so up and coming. Wanted to let you guys know what's going on with some videos that are up and coming. In the pipeline, we've got 5 reasons why Dish will succeed. I did the 5 reasons why Dish would fail. It was a good hit. It did really well. I got like almost 3,000 views on that video. So what I'll do is I'll do the follow up to that. 5 reasons why the Dish network will succeed in wireless. So that's in the works. I'll probably have that produced, edited, uploaded within a week or so. I'll try to get it done early in the week. It'd be awesome. Another video that I've got in the works is another history of. My next one is the history of T-Mobile, and that would be the third one. So I've done the Verizon one, did that a couple months ago. The AT&T one I also did. That one was last week. So if you want to know the history of Verizon and AT&T, those videos have been posted. You can check those out. I got to do a history of the. See what's going on here in the live chat. I'm not sure. All right, good. We're back. All right, great. I don't know what happened there. Weird, but let me know if the video is playing back okay. If the audio is good, just let me know so we can go on here. All right, we're good. All right, great. If we have any more problems, just let me know in the live chat. Shouldn't be an issue anymore. I don't know what happened there. Just maybe a glitch in the matrix or something. All right, good. All right, so we're back on track. All right, so I was I left off talking about up and coming videos. Situation right now is I've got a lot that I want to get to. We've still got a lot of merger news and things that we're following there closely with that story. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I keep you guys updated on the Sprint and T-Mobile merger as things progress through courts. Uh, we get breaking news on things like discussions between the companies and the state's attorneys general. Um, yeah, Midwest guy back at work, man. I teach at a local high school here in the Cleveland area, and we're back at school. Actually, I was back on Tuesday. We had professional developments Tuesday and Wednesday. Setting up our rooms. We had open house. Parents came in. I think it was Tuesday night, and then on Thursday the kids were back, and then we had our second day of school today. So it's been a busy and hectic week. Hey, Technoid, glad man, glad you could be here hanging out tonight, and I know you're a busy dude. I see your upload schedule. You got some stuff going on, so been pretty busy. Something in my eye here. Um, Phones in my class. That's a good question. So are you asking like, do I allow phones in my class? Is that what you're saying, you bust? I actually, so it kind of depends. Some kids, I don't mind if they have their phones. They're productive. They multitask. Some kids just want to listen to music sometimes if they're just working on a worksheet. That really doesn't phase me too much. Um, I don't like it when I see them on Snapchat and they're not being productive. Some kids use their phones for like a slide presentation, or I've got a podcast of a video lecture. See, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. They put on their headphones or something, they want to listen to the podcast. But if they're up to no good, if they're on Snapchat, Instagram, I'll talk to them. I'll let them know, hey, if you're not using for productivity, I don't want you on it. And most of the time, they're usually good about it, and I can trust most. There are some kids that I don't trust, so I don't let them use their phones during class. And I think it's mostly a situation case to case. Do I allow certain kids to use it? And then other kids go, "Oh, you don't let me use it, but you do let, Billy use it or whatever." And then it just becomes a pain. I'll just completely end it. What was the worst kid you had? Uh, I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since I had bad students. Most of them are pretty good. Some kids just aren't good students, so they don't do homework. They don't complete classwork and turn it in. Their commitment to their academics is just not a priority for them. That's kind of the sad thing is when I see kids not really trying. Alan, I'm with you, man. Social media is it's it's a distraction, right? It's a situation where I feel like kids are distracted by the wrong things. I mean, social media is loaded with nonsense. I mean, it's like the Kardashians, it's like housewives. I don't really want to see them on it, but they're so consumed by it. All their friends are on it. Everybody is using it. And some of the apps that I use in my classroom, I like using Google Classroom, posting assignments, putting links to articles, giving updates, assigning homework, stuff like that. I do that all the time. Oh, did I miss a super chat? Uh, oh, okay. uh, so yeah, that's kind of what's going on with school. I've been a little busy this week. I was able to get some videos out though, which is good. So happy there. I was still able to get some uploads out. I got a video for you guys tomorrow, and got a video for you guys on Sunday. And we'll also have the JG Tech Vlog podcast on Sunday. So if you guys want to tune into that, that should be good. Hey, Alan, thanks, man. Uh, I love the YouTube channel. Alan, I've worked really, really hard to build a channel that people enjoy. I try to have a consistent upload schedule so people can expect a video consistently, new updates, special features. I try to offer a nice experience. So, like, my main goal is when I make these videos is if somebody is subscribed to my channel, all of their wireless network update needs are found on Sneed Mobile Tech. Not that I don't want you to watch any other channels, but like if you only watched Sneed Mobile Tech, all of your wireless network updates, you've got them. All of your news, right? You're getting it. Getting it quick, getting some good perspective, getting good analysis, insight and stuff like that. I do my best to offer, that service. And I enjoy it. It's like a labor of love. I love making the videos. Sometimes the editing can be a little bit exhausting, like when I do like the history of and all that. That stuff takes a lot of time. And the research on the history of videos could take me days. And I've got my schoolwork, I've got classes that I take, I got master's coursework. I try to be active in the comment section, interacting with you guys. I love the podcast. Like tonight when we do these Friday night podcasts, it's very enjoyable and rewarding. So I love it all, but of course, it's all time consuming. And of course, life doesn't stop. Everybody's busy, right? There's things to do. Imprez Z, what's happening? Gregory's in the house. Glad you could stop by. What's up, Randy? Glad you could be here. Thank you for coming by tonight and hanging out with us. You bust. I don't know what Celebrate is. I have no idea. I have no clue what that is. Jeremy Clifton says, I'm interested in more about the T-Vision service. Jeremy Clifton, it's a good service. It's a rebranded T-Mobile version of Layer 3 TV. The channel selection is really good. If you're looking for more details on it, Pete B, one of my moderators and contributors here in the podcast, he has the service. So maybe you want to kind of reach out to him and ask him about that. Pricing could be better. I think that in due time, you think about cable service, standalone cable, pricing is somewhere in the range of $90 for cable TV, 90 to 100. Some people tell me they pay over $100 for that. I think as long as, we see T-Mobile rolling out more markets with T-Vision, it gains some notoriety. It becomes more publicly available. People will know more about it. And who knows, maybe we could see some promotional pricing whenever the merger kind of completes, and then we can get it out to more markets. That's probably the biggest part right now for T-Vision is when do we get it to mainstream markets, like a place like Cleveland, which is not a big city, but it's a mid-sized town, right? Chicago, bigger cities having T-Vision makes a lot of sense. What about the other people that want more options, right? That are out in the middle of nowhere. LNW, it's not. T-Vision's not available in my region. There are, I want to say it's like 8 to 10 markets right now. It's slow to roll out. They need that merger to really get the bandwidth going because they're doing it over LTE. Um, so the merger is going to be a big piece of that. Adventures with Jordy says, will the merger be an if or a when? I think it's a when. It's not really an if because the FCC is on board and the DOJ has cleared it and approved it. So to me, it's a when. I mean, I don't see it the other way. I don't see how the merger doesn't process. Ubus says, how will T-Mobile switch boost customers? They won't. Well, oh, so you're saying like with Dish? Okay, so once Dish transitions to an operating company, they take control of the boost customers. They're going to be transitioning those customers from Sprint, the Sprint network, over to the T-Mobile network. There's going to be some issues there. The first is going to be phone compatibility. There are some Boost customers that are operating old legacy tech that will have to be upgraded. I don't know what a percentage of them is. I don't know if it's 10% of users, 20% of users, but if there's a compatibility issue that has to be addressed. They're probably just going to do a mass movement of IMEIs and devices that are connected, and they're going to put them onto the T-Mobile network. I don't know if they're going to be doing it in phases. I don't think they'll have to do it in phases. I think they could take them on. Will that affect service connectivity? Possibly. It's very possible. Alan W says, I have T-Mobile TV, but it's so expensive. Alan, are you paying about $90? I remember that was like the going rate, 90 or something like that, especially if you're a T-Mobile customer. What's up, Jay Brown? Glad you could be here. You know what, Jeremy? I've got Hulu Live as well, and I really like that service. It has gone up in cost over the last few months. I want to say the last increase, like it went up like $5 or something. I think it's up to like $48 after taxes, at least in my area. So I don't know what you're paying, but it has gone up before. All right, so my goal was to be on here for about an hour. I've got to get up and go to work in the morning, but if you guys want to do like a Q&A, any questions, you guys know how the SMT does it. Uh, this is a channel for the people. So if you guys want to discuss anything or ask any questions, some insight, let's go ahead and do that in the last few minutes of the podcast. I've heard people say that, Alan, about T-Mobile TV. It's not the cheapest option, but it is a good option. So you got 2 boxes, $118. I think that's probably similar to what a lot of people are paying for cable with other companies. Yeah, but Pete B, you're 2 hours behind me, so it's like, 9:30 for you. It's 11:30 for me. So I got to be up in like 6 hours. Hey, Matt Dub, no problem, man. Glad to be on here with you guys. Alan, you're welcome, man. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. You know what, Pete? I'll have the multi simulcasting, whatever. I'll have that figured out by next week for sure. I'm gonna get my StreamYard set up, and we should be good to go. Martin asks, which is better, YouTube TV or Hulu TV? Hulu Live is fantastic. I love Hulu Live. It works great. The channel selection is very good. Pricing wise, very, very similar. I think they're both around 45, $50. YouTube TV is good too. Maybe you just want to look at the channel list and see which one has more of what you're looking for. Danny, my next live podcast on the SMT channel will be next week, Friday. My next podcast live stream will be on Sunday, but that'll be on the JG Tech blog. You're welcome, Jeremy. No problem. Yeah, Brian, I appreciate you getting that news to me. 5G on the Note 10 5G, For T-Mobile, looks like it's going to be low band only. Yeah, man. No, Tom. I work. I got a second job, so but it's not at school. Different job. You're welcome, Danny. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. Mark Hoyle. You're right about YouTube TV. I think their user interface is really friendly. It's part of the experience of using a streaming service, right? How reliable is the app? How aesthetically pleasing is it? Does it function well? Can you change channels easily? Can you navigate it well? All that stuff matters. I think you're right. Part of the reason why I still have Hulu Live is because my wife gets the app. It's easy to use. She enjoys, navigating the user interface. It's easy, makes sense. It's clean. Switching channels is a cinch. I think all that matters. The channel list is also good. Has most of what we're looking for. I'm easy to please. I need like 3 to 5 channels. I watch, live sports. There's a couple of channels I like, but I don't need much. Yasmin loves, like the Disney channels, the cartoon channels. So those are really the important things for us. You know what, Tom, you're right. I think YouTube TV could use some more. And who knows, maybe they've got some stuff planned in the pipeline to get you a few more channels. Um, Added value is always good. Yeah, I agree. The value's there. What is YouTube TV out right now? Is that at 45 or $50? Trying to remember the last time. Like, I've been so satisfied with Hulu Live. I haven't really been looking at the market pricing. All right, $50. See, it's fair. Magic Mike, what's happening, buddy? Glad you could be here. Ooh, gaming news. All right. So, Magic Mike, you have your own channel that you're running? That'd be cool, man. Send me the link, man. Magic Mike, if you're not on the Discord, man, get on the Discord. We'll chat. Bus says YouTube music is underrated. That's pretty good. It's a nice service. Used to be YouTube Red. Jeremy, I used to have Sling, man, and I liked it. But then, like Hulu Live and YouTube TV, I thought they were doing things a little bit better. Like they were giving more value. So I switched. But I used to use Sling. Alan W says T-Mobile TV installers are using Teslas. That's crazy. Yeah, Pete says I love Play Music. It's a nice service, man. You don't have to have the screen on to listen. YouTube's kind of got that way about them. It's kind of annoying. I've heard about Philo TV or Philo. I don't know how to pronounce it. $20? How many channels does Philo TV have? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Is it Philo or Philo? Philo? Okay, great. Thanks, Tom. 60 channels, $20? Man, that is a deal. I'm gonna have to look at the channel lineup. Oh no, ESPN, man. And see, that's the thing. Like, I don't watch much of ESPN, but I watch it occasionally, enough to where I'd want it on my service. Does not give you locals. See, we use locals, man. I got to watch the Browns every Sunday, and they're on local TV. No sports, man. So it seems to me like, Jeremy, it's a good add-on. Like most people wouldn't use Philo as a standalone service. Magic Mike, keep me posted on your channel, man. That would be awesome. All right, guys. I think what I'm going to do is, because I've got work in the morning, I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast here. I want to go ahead and give my shout outs and my thank yous to everybody out there. Big shout out to all that provided super chats. Thank you, Jamil, for the super chat. Big shout out to my moderators, Pete B, Rafi's here. We had Michael Fresca, Technoid. He was here earlier. Madbirds was here. I think most of my moderators made it in tonight, which is awesome. Doesn't always happen that way. Any other moderators that I may have missed, I'm sorry if I forgot you. Thank you for taking care of moderating duties. I want to thank all of you that contributed to the conversation in the live chat. I want to thank everybody that liked the video. If you haven't liked it, please go ahead and do that. Uh, thank you all who watched, even if you don't get involved in the live chat. No problem. Glad you could be a part of tonight's podcast. And if you're watching this on replay gang, thank you guys for watching as well. Go ahead and like this video. Looking forward to some future videos up and coming. Mark Hoyle, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. I've got some ideas for some videos up and coming. I'll keep you guys posted. Do my best to keep you guys updated on the merger. Obviously, internal discussions are the big thing right now. So we're on the lookout for stuff on news on that. Next week, Pete should be back on the podcast to join me, contributor and moderator. So hopefully we'll figure out the whole StreamYard service. We'll get things going there. Maybe we'll see if if Dave B is going to be around. We'll get the band back together. That'd be cool. Sunday, JG Tech Blog podcast. I'll be on there. It'll be 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on there for at least 30 minutes. I try to be on for 30, 40, 45 minutes. We'll be talking prepaid. Last week, we were looking at best deals for Metro for new port-in customers. I think what we'll end up doing, I know, Tom, right? It always ends up being an hour. I think what we'll do is we'll look at Metro by T-Mobile's deals for existing customers. So, not the port-ins or the new activations, but what's going on for the existing customers. And we'll talk T-Mobile and Sprint merger, obviously, because that's a big thing if you're on Metro by T-Mobile. So big shout out to the Discord gang. There's a link in the description box below for that. If you'd like to get involved with the other communities with the SMT, also got the SMT Patreon. Links in the description for that. Access to new exclusive content that doesn't make its way on. You also get early access to the YouTube videos. And I want to give a big shout to anybody who's provided a monetary donation through the PayPal link in the description box as well. Thank you guys for those considerations and those donations, helping support production here on the SMT YouTube channel. So I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for live chatting. It's been a great show. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you guys on the next podcast and the next video. Peace.